Hello again, everyone. I am BBD of the Versus series, as you may know me, and I'm going to be doing another unboxing. So last time I did Journey into Nyx, and today we're going to be journeying into Born of the Gods, which was too long of a set name, so instead they just went with Born of the Gods. So we're going to be cracking this box of Born of the Gods. It's got a nice old picture of Xenagos probably reveling in some form. So let's go ahead and crack this up and see what sweet goodness awaits us inside. And let's start by just opening this box right up. So cut to the chase on this one. So Born of the Gods is basically the story behind this one is Xenagos the Planeswalker is really just not satisfied with being a Planeswalker. I don't know, being one of the sweetest creatures in the multiverse, just not good enough for Xenagos. So he is jealous of the gods and he is trying to become a god. So this set's where he does become a god. And I'm going to need a god to open this pack for me because I cannot do it. All right, we ripped it. Oh, man. With those kind of guns, you would think I am Born of the Gods. But unfortunately, I am mere mortal. So, all right, let's get that insert out of here and start with some of these packs we got. So, I guess in Born of the Gods, we're trying to hit maybe some gods themselves, since, we are born of them. So let's go ahead and crack this pack and see what we got here. We got an old Farragax Giant, kind of a mediocre one. Retraction Helix. So this is a pretty sweet one in Limited. You could target one of your heroic guys, grow them, and then bounce one of your opponent's permanents. So that was a big one. I don't know why they called this Great Heart. It's actually just pretty mediocre, to be honest. Follow the Hammer. Now that was a powerhouse in Limited as well. You turn your heroic guy bigger, and you kill one of their creatures. And then Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass is certainly aptly named because he dies to Eye Gouge. So that is the name for that. All right, so let's see what rare we got. We have a Hero's Podium. All right, so this is the EDH Commander kind of rare from the set, where it is a big old legendary artifact, and it pumps all your legendary creatures, and it lets you search the top cards of your library to find a legendary creature and put it in your hand. So this is a big old legendary creature card. Nothing too fancy for standard or anything, but definitely a big commander card. Since you definitely want to play some legendary creatures in that set. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. Satyr Wayfinder was from the set. Satyr Wayfinder is one of my favorite cards from this entire block, and they reprinted it in M15, so I get to see it for a while more. But Satyr Wayfinder is just a super awesome card that lets you A, dig for more land, and B, fills your graveyard with creatures that you can reanimate. So I really love that card a lot. Definitely a pretty cool one from the set. This card just infuriates me because it's better than Squire, and Squire is one of my favorite cards, so I don't know why they would ever print a card that's just better than Squire. Fanatic of Xenagos is a pretty sweet one. I think this card will actually see some standard play moving forward because it is basically the same stats as a Lockstone Smiter type card, but it has the ability to get haste, and even though Tribute gives your opponent the chance to make a choice, they don't really have a lot of good options with this guy. And then we have Guild. Guild is a pretty awesome card that just straight exiles a creature and gives you extra mana that you can use in later turns. So I think Guild's a really powerful card, and I was really hoping that we would get a gold token to go with it, but we didn't. So we couldn't completely live the dream with that pack, but Guild's a pretty solid rare to get out of that one. So see if we can maybe get a Brimaz or something out of this pack. See if a Crow and Skyguard, that was a card I like to draft that card a lot. Glimpse the Sun God. Maybe alright, Fated Return. So this is one of the old Fated cycle cards that basically they give you some effect, but if you cast the card on your turn, you also get to scry 2. So they're all instants, and sometimes you want to use them on your opponent's turn to just surprise them, but sometimes you want to use them on your turn to get a scry out of it. So this is a really cool cycle. This one lets you put a creature from any graveyard into play under your control and makes it indestructible. So it's a powerful effect. It's pretty expensive, but it's certainly a powerful card. But let's see if we got any sweet goodies in this one here. We're gonna be cracking a lot of packs. Hopefully, I can rise to the challenge on that. Okay, well here's a common that's interesting is Revoke Existence. Now, originally printed in Scars of Mirrodin, Revoke was extremely powerful because that card was all about artifacts. This set's all about enchantments, and Revoke is equally as powerful because being able to exile them is extremely important when a lot of them are indestructible, like the gods. So, Revoke was a huge reprint that everyone was excited about that one. Ooh, okay, this is one of my favorite cards from the set, is Bile Blight. It's just an absurdly powerful removal spell, and at least for me, one of kind of a recurring theme for Standard for me was what I like to call Bile Blight into Brimaz, where you would try to cast Bile Blight on turn 2 and then try to cast Brimaz on turn 3. One of them costs double black, one of them costs double white, so not the easiest thing in the world to do, but that was what I was all about. So I'm really hoping, all right, this pack, can this pack be a Bile Blight into a Brimaz? Oh, so close. Wow, it's the same mana cost. Eidolon of Countless Battles. This card is actually really good. It is, the reason this card is Countless Battles is because it's impossible to actually count how much damage this thing deals, because it's actually a very tricky card because it gets +1/+1 for each creature and each aura, but it's sometimes kind of difficult to track all that. But this card's actually really powerful as both a creature and a bestow. So I think that this is gonna be a big card. I'm gonna keep Bile Blight over here too because that's just an awesome card. Let's see what we got here. This guy likes to brawl a bit, but nothing too special from the common end. Oh wow, okay, so here's the Brimaz. So we did go Bile Blight into Brimaz. It was just 2 consecutive packs. Brimaz is definitely my favorite cat soldier king that they have ever printed. He is just a big old baddie. I like the fact that, like, I love cards like this that just become more and more powerful the longer they stay in play. So for me, like, a card like Hero of Bladehold that just generated tokens every time you attacked with it was like one of my favorite cards from that block. And Brimaz is exactly the same card and is just a mana cheaper. Just a super powerful card. Has Vigilance, so it's very hard to attack into it, and is just very good on offense and defense. So this is an extremely powerful card. It's been seeing play in Legacy and Modern, so it is a super powerful card. Definitely one of the chase mythics from the set. Might even be the most valuable card in this set. So that was a pretty big rep for us there. Maybe the only thing better might have been like a foil Brimaz or a foil mythic. Fearsome Temper, one of my favorite cards from the set. Not only is the art awesome, it's just this big old, I don't even know if that's supposed to be Perforos or whatever, but it's just this big old Minotaur just going ham up in the city streets. And the card basically does that same effect as well. Springleaf Drum was a sweet reprint. This was originally from Lorwyn, and this has actually been a super popular card for affinity decks in Modern. Lets you power out your guys early and serves as an artifact. So this card actually sees a lot of play, and they decided to reprint it. And it's very good in this set because of the Inspired mechanic, where you can use Springleaf Drum to generate mana from a creature like Deepwater Hypnotist, and then get the effect the next turn. And we have a Perplexing Chimera, extremely aptly named. Perplexing Chimera is not only hard to say, but hard to use. So you can actually exchange Perplexing Chimera for any spell your opponent casts. So kind of a weird thing, but you know, your opponent casts some huge flashy spell, you can just be like, all right, you get a Chimera, I get your spell. And kind of a super neat effect. One of those cards they don't print that often that just does something really, really weird. But definitely a cool one. Alright, let's see if we got anything cool here. Eternity Snare is actually a reprint from Time Spiral, which is my favorite block of all time, but not exactly the most powerful card of all time. And we have a Fate Unraveler. Very powerful effect. It's basically an Underworld Dreams on a creature, but it has like pretty high toughness. It's 3/4, so it's a pretty big creature, and the effect is pretty strong too. This is like a really powerful card in Limited, and because of like Desecration Demon, it hasn't seen much standard play, but it is an enchantment creature, so there is some upside there. And we have a foil Deepwater Hypnotist, which is Unfortunately, just kind of a meh common, but you know, we can do better as we open more cards in this pack. So see what we got here. Charging Badger. This is the eponymous like you know, fun card from the set. You just gotta have a Charging Badger. Divination, they print that in every single set. This set's no different. So if you want divinations, they are not hard to come by. All right, Herald of Torment. This is one of my favorite cards from the set, and I think an extremely underrated card because a 3/3 flyer for 3 isn't like that great, but it's not bad either. But the upside of being able to just give a creature +3/+3 and flying is just extremely powerful, and I think this is like one of the most powerful cards from the set that hasn't seen a lot of play in Constructed, but I really have high hopes that it will, like, moving forward. And then we have a foil Airy Worshippers. Now this card was pretty good in Limited, but probably won't see much Constructed play. So fortunately, we won't use too much there. We do get a sweet old Enchantment Zombie token though, and I love the art from this set. I love the fact that all the zombies wear like gold masks. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it's just a really unique thing, and it really like fits the flavor of the block. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Eye Gouge, gouging some eye. This card is just like a super flavorful card. It makes perfect sense where any normal creature just gets -1/-1 till end of turn. You know, they can shrug off getting their eye gouged out, but a Cyclops only has one eye, so it just dies. And the flavor text is 1 chance, 1 throw, 1 perfect hit. I don't know. I love casting this card is one of the most fun things you can do. It's just so much fun. Your opponent plays this massive Cyclops, and you can just, I don't even like to just, instead of just casting the card, I like to just read the flavor text and see if they can recognize it before they realize that their guy's about to die. So that's a really fun one. We have another Fanatic here. Okay, Hunter's Prowess. Not the most powerful constructed card, but this one is a blast to play in Limited. I had a sealed PTQ where I got to draw 12 cards off of Hunter's Prowess, and I had to draw 2 exact cards out of my deck off those 12 cards to be able to win, and I did. And it was just one of those crazy things that, like, you know, didn't think it was going to be able to happen, and Hunter's Prowess pulled it off. And then Immortal's Ardor, which is nothing too special, so we'll move on past that. See if we can maybe open I don't know, Xenagod. I guess we're try to get a Xenagod out of this pack, or Xenagos, God of Revels, as you may know him. Imperious Sunchaser, the little guy. This is like basically like an Icarus card, I guess, is the actual thing. Yeah, I'm getting the nod that Icarus is correct. So this guy flies too close to the sun, I guess you could say, but he's the little guy that could, getting in for 1 damage a turn. And all right, we have another Fated card here. We have Fated Infatuation, which basically lets you copy a creature you control. So this card would be really sweet if you could copy any creature. Unfortunately, it's just ones you control, so it's not quite as good. But it's still a neat trick. So, let's see what... Alright, we've got 2 of the Fated cards. Let's see if we can get all 5. I like the green one. That's one of my favorites. Alright. Siren Song Lyre. Oh, there we go. Alright, we have hit our first god. We have Mogus, God of Slaughter. This guy is... When this guy came out, I thought he was going to be absurdly good because he is 7 power for 4 mana. He's just big. Number 2, every turn he puts your opponent to the test. Are they going to sacrifice a creature or take 2 damage? That really adds up over time. So this guy's a big old bruiser and just a really sweet card overall. And I think he competes a lot with Perforos, but he's just a pretty awesome card. And that is the first god we've opened. Not quite on the level of Brimaz, but that is a good card to open nonetheless. So, all right, let's see. I like this card originally when they were. I think they originally had this card as like a 4/5 or something, or a 3/4, and they just realized that it was just way too good. Giving all your creatures Death Touch is just actually a really powerful effect. Even as a 2/3 for 6 is still pretty cool. All right, we got it. All right, we got another Fated card. We have Fated Conflagration. I actually played this card at the Pro Tour, Journey into Nyx. It was probably the best answer for cards like Elspeth and Polukranos at the same time. You needed something that dealt 5 damage to kill Elspeth. You needed something that dealt 5 to kill Polukranos. So I actually played this card. And that is the 3rd Fated card we have. So we have gone through 12 packs. We're about to jump into the next 12, and we only have 2 faded cards left to go, so we're off to a great start. Let's see what we got. Another Retraction Helix. Bolt of Keranos, just a good limited removal card. Snake of the Golden Grove. Every time I cast this card, I just want to yell like "Snake, Snake!" I don't know, just kind of a weird thing there. Gorgon's Head. I was always a fan of this card, but kind of an average card. But I just like the art on this card, and I also like giving my creatures Death Touch. So much like the black archetype, I think that card's pretty underrated. Flame Wreath Phoenix. All right, so this is a mythic flyer. I think this guy's going to be pretty sweet once Return to Ravnica block has rotated out completely. And I actually own a stamped copy of this card because I opened it at the Pro Tour and I won a lot of matches with it. So this card is near and dear to my heart, and it does a lot of damage very fast. So that is a pretty powerful card and goes very well with Stormbreath Dragon from the same block. And let's see, skip past these commons. Loyal Pegasus, though, I guess pretty sweet. Oh, okay. We have Unravel the Aether. This is basically a functional reprint of a card called De-Glamour from Morning Tide. And it is, much like Revoke Existence, it's another awesome answer to Gods. So they printed Gods in these sets where they're indestructible, so it's really hard to destroy them. But then they gave us cards like Unravel the Aether or Revoke Existence, so we can exile them, or in the case of Unravel, shuffle them back into the library to get rid of them. So they printed some good answers to those cards. And then we have a Temple here, Temple of Malice, which is just the black-red Temple. Unfortunately, this isn't the best one. Temple of Enlightenment is probably the best one from the set, but all the Temples are really good. They're actually a lot better than people gave them credit for. So that's a pretty good pull. And then Setessan Oathsworn, in addition to being very hard to say, is also a little bit hard to cast and not too exciting. So we can do better with the foils, but pack was salvaged because we got a Brimaz Cat. I'm gonna find our Brimaz and put them together. So we have Bioblight into Brimaz into the Cat. So we're off to a pretty roaring start there. And all right, let's see what we got in this old pack. Another Satyr Wayfinder. Crowan Conscriptor. Okay, this card was almost unbeatable and limited sometimes. You would play this card, and then you would just play 2 pump spells on it, steal your opponent's creatures, and just deal 20 to them in 1 turn. I would always first pick this card out of almost every pack. The card was so powerful. Searing Blood, also pretty powerful. My pack rats keep dying to this card, and it's very annoying. So this card is much like Searing Blaze, and that card sees a lot of modern play. Searing Blood's actually very good as well. And then Fellhide Spiritbinder. I always confuse this card with, let's see if I can find it. We have it in here somewhere. Fate Unraveler, because they're basically like the same card. 3/4s for 4 with interesting abilities. But Fellhide Spiritbinder's ability is that you can copy a creature every time you untap with it, every time you get to Inspired with it. So it's actually a pretty powerful effect. And he has a pretty big body for the cost. So pretty cool card there. Skip past these guys. See, ooh, Oresco Sunglide. I drafted this set a lot, so I love going over all these commons and commons I love. So we have another Bioblade. That's awesome. I already talked about that. And we have Corser of Kruphix, which is actually the most valuable non-mythic from the set. Might even be the most valuable card in the set. It's getting pretty close. This card is actually just bonkers. It is seeing play in Modern and Standard. It is hugely played in both of those formats. I would not be surprised if it starts seeing Legacy play. It is 3 mana, and first it has a 2/4 body, which is big enough by itself, and then it also just lets you play off the top of your deck. So whenever you have a Corsair in play, you're going to draw a lot more spells than you normally would because you don't have to draw as many lands because you can just put them directly into play. So this card's been a huge hit in a lot of formats. Definitely one of the chase rares from the set. And we got a Bioblight in the same pack, so that was about one of the better packs we could have opened. And another Divination. All right, we have another Hero's Podium from this one. Nothing too special there. We'll just jump into the next pack. Maybe get a better one here. Grizzly. All right, Reap What Is Sown. This card is so powerful, but green-white just wasn't that good in the set, so it didn't get drafted that much, but it's an extremely great card. And then Spiteful Return is one of my favorite cards from one of my favorite like enchantments from the set, because one, you can just play it as a 1/1 for 2, but it still deals 3 damage when it attacks. Or on turn 4, you can just bestow it on a creature, and it deals so much damage over the course of the game. It may not seem like that much, but it really adds up a lot. Spiteful Return is pretty sweet. And then we have Astral Cornucopia as our rare. This card reminds me a lot of Everflowing Chalice, where you can, like, the more mana you pay into it, the more mana you can get out of it. But not the most exciting card, but definitely an interesting one. Anything that has triple X in its mana cost is pretty unique, and that's probably the only card that does in Magic history. I don't know. There might be something else, but I feel like that's got to be the only one that has triple X in its cost. All right, Nessian Demolock. I love Acidic Slime, and this is almost as good as Acidic Slime, but not quite. And we have Temple of Plenty. So the green-white temple, definitely probably a little bit better than Temple of Malice, but not quite Temple of Enlightenment. But still, any of the temples are always good ones to open, because they will definitely see some play. And they've actually started seeing play in formats older than Standard as well. So they're good ones. And now Oracle of Bones is the rare out of this one. And Oracle of Bones is one of the scariest cards that your opponent can cast, because you just never know. So I love cards like this where it puts your opponent to the test. Like, do they give you just a 3/1, or do they give you a 5/3? And if they give you just a 3/1, they take the risk that you might have some absurdly powerful card in your hand and just blow them out. So I love these kinds of cards where you have to kind of gauge, does your opponent have it or not? And they make for a lot of fun games. And good old Black Oak of Adonis. This guy seems so mediocre, but he's actually pretty sweet. All right, we have a Drown in Sorrow from this pack, and this was actually one of the premier cards from this set. One of the cards that everyone was going crazy about, because Infest is already a really powerful effect, and they just gave us Infest but with Scry 1, which Scrying is extremely powerful. So this is like definitely a very powerful card for Standard, and even older formats. It sees some play in Modern. So this card's really powerful. One of the things about Born of the Gods is it had a lot of really, really strong uncommons. There were Bile Blight, Drown in Sorrow, Unravel the Aether, and so forth. So this is one of the power uncommons from the set. And then we have another Spirit Binder, and we got another Cat Soldier too, which I think these Cat Soldiers are maybe on the rarer side. So we'll put that with our Brimaz as well. Brimaz is going to be making a lot of cats, and we definitely have the soldiers for it. So another Spiteful Return, and we have Tromo Kratos. And I think that this card is, flavor-wise, one of the cooler cards. First of all, just look at the art on that guy. It's a Kraken, but it looks like he's got like a beard thing going on. So I can totally respect that. And it's also just a huge, like, this reminds me of one of those old school Magic rares, like Leviathan or whatever, like a 10/10 for 8 mana that has like some huge effect. And this one's no different. It has hexproof whenever it's not attacking or blocking, and it has to be blocked by all creatures. So just really super flavorful rare. Not the most valuable, but definitely a cool one. All right, here we have Mind Reaver, which really good with Devotion. That's one of the main things about Mind Reavers, that it provides 2 blue for Devotion, but the card itself is a little bit weak. But sometimes the Devotion matters, especially when Master of Waves is in the same block. All right, this is the last pack of this set. Hopefully we get a sweet god out of this pack or something. I'm gonna open it from the back and see what we got. All right, let's see what color. All right, it looks like it's a white card. Maybe it's another Brimaz. Let's see the mana cost. Mana cost is 7. All right, so it's probably Faded Retribution, and it is. So Faded Retribution, that is one more of the faded cards that we don't have. So we have 4 of the faded cards. We're just missing the green one, I believe. So Faded Retribution destroys all creatures and planeswalkers. Just an extremely powerful blowout card. Surprised I didn't open this in the From the Vault Annihilation unboxing that I did, because this is an Annihilator. That one will destroy some stuff. We got another Springleaf Drum. That's a pretty good one out of this one as well. So, all right, that is all for the second set. Looks like we got 4 of the faded cards. I'm really hoping that we can open the green faded card from the last set. Maybe we can also open like another God or a Kiora as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and dig right in and see what we got. I just want to catch them all. I want to hit all the faded cards in one one swell, one fell swoop, as they say. One swell foop. It was the swellest of foops. Nessian Wild's Ravager. I don't know. He's just kind of a big guy. I don't have a whole lot more to say about him. He might ravage you a bit, but it's just all in a day's work. And we have another Chimera. I'm a little perplexed by that one, but maybe we'll open something unique in this pack here. So I'm hoping for a rare that we haven't seen before. Maybe a sweet common or uncommon. Vanguard of Brimaz, actually, when this card came out, I was actually really excited about it because it provided 2 devotion for Heliod. That was the only reason why. I wasn't planning on targeting it with anything. I just wanted devotion. But it is actually a pretty solid card. And our rare is Painseer. Okay. Painseer is actually really cool. When this card came out, people were comparing it to Dark Confidant, which is one of the most iconic black creatures of all time. And Painseer's effect is essentially the same as Dark Confidant's effect. However, you have to trigger Inspired to be able to use it. So it's definitely not quite as good as Dark Confidant, but it has like a lot of the same upside where every turn this is in play, you're generating more and more advantage. So that's actually a pretty good one to open. It has an apt name though, because it will deal you a lot of damage. It is a painful seer, and we have another Tromacratus, unfortunately, but we do have a sweet bird token. I think this is one of the better arts for the tokens in this set. It's just really awesome bird. I don't know. Bird is the word, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Alright. Let's see if I can excoriate this wrapper off this pack. And alright, skip past some of this. Archetype of Imagination, very powerful and limited. Giving all your creatures flying is a pretty scary thing. Alright. Silent Sentinel. I have no words for this. I'm silent. But we do have a foil Glimpse of the Sun God, which I don't know. This card is pretty awesome, and I played a lot of this in limited, and I actually think this is just a really cool looking foil. May not be a valuable card, but it's just a cool looking foil. So I'm gonna move it into our sweep pile, just based on judging that book by its cover. So. All right, another sweet old eye gouge. Maybe we have a Cyclops in here. I don't see any. And our rare is Whims of the Fates. So this is one of those unique cards where red always has these cards like this that like cost 1,000,000 mana, and they do something like you roll a dice or whatever and destroy like all these permanents. So this is another one where everyone separates their permanents into 3 piles, and one of those piles gets randomly destroyed. So pretty fun one for really big games where you just want to some people just want to watch the world burn, and Whims of the Fates is the kind of card for those people. Personally, I'm not a world burning kind of guy, so not my style of card, but it is a pretty sweet one. Oh, okay, wow, look at this. So all right, we got a Drown in Sorrow, which is pretty cool, but we got a foil and a rare of the same card. That does not happen that often. I'm pretty forged stoked about this. So that I don't know. That's just cool right there. Like I love opening like packs like this are just so rare. It doesn't matter that this card's not that exciting. It's just awesome to open a dragon and a foil of the same dragon in the same pack. That's like a once in a lifetime thing. So that is a pretty awesome pack right there. I consider that one a complete win. Almost as much of a win as this one, right? Yeah. Nope. Another win. The Fates would not allow it. We just got whimmed. I don't know if that's a real word, but I'm feeling a little whimsical. So wow, we got destroyed in that one. We're just gonna move on to something better here. All right, Cura's Follower. So every time I play this card, I just imagine that it's just like this merfolk that just follows Kiora around everywhere. Kiora just gets like super annoyed by it, and I just imagine Kiora's followers asking people like, "Where's Kiora at, man? Have you seen Kiora? I just want to see Kiora so bad." Kiora Stalker. So all right, our rare for this pack is Whelming Wave, or as I like to call it, Underwhelming Wave. So I'm not too whelmed by this card. But if you're into the old Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents, you can play some Whelming Wave and keep those guys in play. I think, yeah, all right. We got Tromacratus. He's a Kraken, so these two were made for each other. All right, we only have 3 packs left. We need the green faded card. and hopefully a god in these last packs. Come on. Alright, I'm going to slow roll it. We got Springleaf Drum, that's a good one. Nestian Demoloch. Ooh, okay. Alright. It is not what we wanted, but it's a Temple of Enlightenment, so we actually hit the cycle on temples, which I wasn't even going for that, but that's actually pretty sweet. And this is the most valuable temple too. So this was a really good pull. Definitely one of the better cards we could have opened with 2 packs to go. Alright, 1 pack to go. Alright, we have 1 pack after this one, I should say. I'm gonna slow roll this one as well. Far's Enlightenment. Maybe there's an Afara in this pack too. Raised by Wolves. Hero of Iroas. I don't know. This is actually a really good card. Saw a lot of play at the Pro Tour, but unfortunately it is not a green Fated card or a god. Which is... Alright, we're down to the last pack. Alright. We're gonna slow roll from the back. Plains, maybe there's a... Alright, now we gotta go from the front. Alright. Here it is, the moment of truth. Yes, alright. We did not hit the Fated cycle, but we did get a god in the very last pack. Fennex, God of Deception. I thought we were going to be deceived by this box, but he saved us here at the end. This is actually just one of the really cool gods where you get to use all your creatures to mill your opponent out. So at least in Limited, this card was bonkers good. But is actually pretty sweet for Constructed too, and it's really good in like Commander as well. And the awesome thing about Fennex is once you turn him into a creature, most of the gods, all they do when they're a creature is they just attack or block. When you turn Fennex into a creature, he can actually mill for 7, and he has a massive amount of toughness, which is like really cool with his abilities. So he's one of the few gods that actually like uses his own ability in a unique way. So Fennex was a pretty awesome pull there for the end. But looks like that's the end of the Born of the Gods back. We got a Fennex, we got all the temples. We opened 2 dragons of the same type in the same pack. We got a bunch of sweet uncommons. Got a bird. Alright, we have some more temples. We have a couple of biolights. We did get a Corser, one of the best possible rares we could have opened. We did get another god with Mogus. And then we got that Brimaz, Brimaz is probably the most valuable card in the set. So all in all, this is a really sweet pack. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. If you want to watch more, there's more unboxing videos here, and here you can click on. And again, thank you for watching. This was Born of the Gods. I hope you weren't deceived.